Hello, welcome to Wednesday Hump Day Energy Balance. My name is Sue McLaughlin. My practice is Inner Source Living. You can find out more about me and my work at innersourceliving.com. You can schedule there if you would like right now to do a phone session. I hope to start to slowly open up and see folks in person again by June, but the governor has been dictating a lot of that, and we will just go with the flow. And therefore, that we should probably start to go with the flow here. I'm already feeling the need to tap here on the high heart, the thymus area. This is for you, as well as me, to start to settle some anxieties that are coming up. We have our kidney meridian point K27 is here. Oftentimes I've worked with clients and had them massage this area when they and instruct them to do that when they're starting to feel some anxiety, some angst, some heaviness. Whew. So while I'm doing that, I will tell you the emotions that came up today were desire, which is a low emotion. It's out there. It's got a low frequency. It's one of these things that it's just like you can't get there. It's so far out there. Miserable. That's probably a pretty obvious low vibration or frequency emotion. And we have our own feelings of misery, and we have a lot of us around us that have it. So it could be affecting us. Also, fatigue came up, this helplessness. When you're managing yours and maybe some others' desires for things to go back to the old way. I have this desire, this is to go back to Target and just walk around. That's not really an option at this time. So it's, it's just draining over and over. Maybe having to tell your kids no over and over, it's really draining. And then left kidney, not just kidneys, but the left kidney came up. And that, again, can be about power or draining. It can be about fear and anxiety, and we just want to flush that out. Our kidneys filter our blood, and so they separate what is pure and impure. And so having these heavy emotions, we need those to flush out. Whew, I can already start to feel some expansion there. All right. So I am muscle testing. So you might see my hands fidget down here. And this is also the Body Talk protocol chart that I'm muscle testing, going up and down to get to our balance today. All right. So we're starting with heart protection. We actually, our heart has a lining, that thick muscle wall that protects it, and the valves inside of it. Also, we can build walls up and try and protect ourselves from things that we maybe believe we can't manage, like everybody else's emotions and my emotion. I'm getting also contraction, which speaks to me on a lot of levels. So the heart, it contracts and expands, but it has to do both in order to get the blood to flow through our body and to every cell. So we need that. So even emotionally, we need to contract and expand. And we're probably feeling pretty contracted with stay-at-home orders and our inability to go back into our life, and feeling that there are too many places where we used to feel expanded. We need to find how to feel expanded again. All right, so in Body Talk, we make formulas up. So that's our first link. Our second one, thymus is coming up. High heart, it's an endocrine. It's about our immune system. It's about growth as well, and it's about energy. And so when we think immune, it's it's sort of a defense system, and so it's heart protection, defensive patterns that we may be starting to either have come up that we really didn't realize how defensive we were about certain things because they're really in our face. We can't get outside and away from them or distract ourselves as we usually would. But and that can be draining. Just this, and just acknowledging that you're starting to maybe react in certain ways that you don't feel good about. I've working with a lot of my clients right now. They're like, I don't feel, even some of my friends that have kids, they're like, I just don't feel like I was a good parent today. And so it's like, okay, well, every day's a redo. The sun came up, redo. What can I do different today? What yesterday go? Pump it through, filter it out. Oh, and so here I am talking about redo, and I'm getting pancreatic reflex point, which is like a reset. And pancreas manages it helps with digestion, so processing things out, and it also helps manage the insulin glucose levels in our body. I liken glucose to the sweetness of life, joy, sadness. And so we need, again, much like contraction and expansion, we need the balance. We can't be stuck in one or the other. Okay, and there is a couple other elements that are coming up under, like when we're feeling that tiredness or contracted, we're feeling a little unmotivated, and there's an element of time. Like, this is taking longer than I expected. I don't have enough time to get everything done. Work, at home, teach my kids, or I have too much time, which can really be, when you don't feel like you have enough time, everybody thinks the opposite is better. It's like, no, it's not. But most importantly, this time element is there's not enough time for self-care, or I'm not feeling motivated anymore in my self-care. I started walking every day, and then the weather, at least in Ohio, got rainy and cold, and I just don't want to do it anymore. Or I'm just, I'm not motivated. I'm not motivated to go to bed early anymore. Those kind of things, that heavy weighing us down. And so we need to get out of that, and so we can start flowing again. All right, if you would like, and you do not have to put your hand somewhere, I would put it here on this high heart, with the intention of our heart and our thymus. And I'm just going to tapping on both sides of my brain for us. You can tap as well if you want, if it feels right. Deep breaths. We're like letting this brain know there's this information it needs to call attention to, that it's had in this unconscious pattern that we want to get out of. Saving it in the heart brain. And then saving it in the gut brain, that gut intuition. Just going to tap one more time a little quicker, just to really set this in. All right, so this formula is no longer a priority. We're going to move on. We're moving into an area or a technique called bodygenics, and more specifically, it's our diaphragm. So we always think of this diaphragm, but we have a high diaphragm and one that's in our pelvic area. But we are working in this mid-abdomen diaphragm area, over our ribs. If you understand chakras, it's a part of our third chakra and our personal power. Our diaphragm can also contract and get stuck. How are you breathing? Are you having a hard time getting some deep breaths, which can calm us down? If we don't breathe deeply, we start to breathe shallow up here, then it starts chemical response for your body to go in fight or flight, to be anxious, ungrounded. Some people understand that terminology, where you just don't feel like I can't concentrate, right? I'm not feeling inside myself, feet on the ground. All right, and so I'm getting more specifically, it happens to be over the right side is where I'm picking it up of our diaphragm. And so in this technique, what I'm finding is, what I was doing there is I'm moving around to see where it flowed. We're all this big piece of fascia, and so it's like, oh, it's kind of stuck, and there's some resistance going this way. No meaning to that specifically, but there's some stuff going on here that is where we're not feeling power. And what we don't want to happen is that everything gets stuck, right? So we're gonna loosen that up. It's reciprocal to the clavicle. Um, okay, that's where we have that. There is a link to it, spleen, more specifically the macrophagia, which breaks down all the debris, old cells, because we're always turning over cells, not just on our skin, inside, and that goes through our blood, and it needs to break it down so we can flush that out. Things that like foreign debris. So again, that's immune system. So maybe anything that we want to keep our immune system healthy and flowing. Spleen, going back to it, can also be about our subconscious, and it can be about our rhythm and flow. And so, anything that is that needs to get out of the way so we can build our flow or get back into our flow for the rest of this week. And so, yeah, it's this cleansing. All right, and there is this emotion that's coming up, picking it up as like a disconnection, and it's not within, it's coming up twofold. So it's coming up like everybody's feeling it, so we can feel this, and it's and then our own internal, so that would and it's the, like, we're just not feeling connected to how everybody else is responding when it is different to ours, and that is allowing and that feels foreign. So I have heard some clients say, I have no problems, I'll deal with the struggle, as long as everybody's safe, I'll stay home. I have other clients who are really frustrated. And we went to a funeral and it was like we couldn't hug, and everyone was, like, they just didn't, they don't like it. Or that coming back up, that miserable, like, I have to wear this mask, and I don't know about you, but if you wear glasses, I'm putting them on my head unless I need to read something. It's sore because I can't. I mean, like, they fog up, right? Or like, oh my God, how long am I gonna have to do this? All right, but I'll do it. And then you have people who are on the other spectrum. None of these am I claiming to be right or wrong, but these are experiences that I am hearing from my clients and that I've seen on TV. But we have people that are going out and protesting, open up our economy. And everyone has their personal reason for that response. We just need to manage the flow of how we want to navigate this world, and have some empathy in that we don't know why they're responding that way. So taking out that judgment, that is our first thought, like, that's crazy, that feels risky, or why are you not more angry or upset? And just allowing that second thought to be like, that is, I hope we all come to one page, but that's them, and you do you, boo, I do me, and I'm going to keep focusing on me and my family. All right. So yeah, all right, so letting that's going to process that through. Connect the clavicle, where it's the reciprocal that we're working with here on this diaphragm. Oh, well, that loosened up already. That's awesome. Good. Ooh, and then I'm going to hold the spleen. If you want to put your hands anywhere, I'm going to put my arm all the way across. You can put your hands here, maybe just on that spleen area, to help break down the things that are that just don't feel in alignment, foreign to us, right? And so I'm going to hold here with the intention of the diaphragm, third chakra, our personal power, and the spleen. Let's just tap this out. Some nice deep breaths, because we, again, that's how we, help cleanse the blood, is by letting go and breathing out, and then taking in. You can't take in fresh, clean oxygen if you are contracted, and we don't want to also have ourselves get into fight or flight. So, nice deep breath again. Whew. Calling attention to our brain, saving it in our heart. And finally, in our gut intuition, our gut mind. Whew, excuse me. All right. Whew. Something needed to move a little bit further there for me, or you, or both. Okay. All right. So that is the end of our balance today. Very powerful, short and powerful. And I will say that I will be sending out an email to my mailing list about moving forward and opening up the doors to start to see people in person. I do encourage you, if you have been waiting and it's starting to be a struggle, especially if you've already purchased a package, please reach out to me and we'll talk about doing a phone session. They are very valuable and very impactful. Don't delay your self-care. Find the time. Even if we do it like a mini one, 30 minutes, you'd be surprised. If this little bit helped you, 30 minutes more tailored to you will be very impactful. Thank you again for watching, and I will be reaching out via video next Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Oh, and thank a nurse today. I sent my niece, that's a nurse, a text thanking her. It is National Nurse Day. So I'm very grateful for her and all.